Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice, because today is another episode of Frightful Fridays, in which I will be reviewing the movie Mortuary, 2006 movie starring an acquaintance of mine, Denise Crosby. You probably know her from first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think she was in one of the Pet Sematary movies and a few other movies. And it is directed by Toby Hooper. It is R-rated and approximately an hour and a half long. This movie is about a recently widowed woman who moves across country with her teenage son and younger daughter to start over again. She had just finished college and is hired on as a mortician in this small town that hadn't had a mortician in a while, and the people that morticians there had, the family that had owned it had issues, and things had ended badly. So when they get to this house, they are met by this really kind of a creepy guy who I was, at the time, you're assuming is like the real estate agent or someone, but I think he was a town councilman, and he's just this really creepy dude. And the place is a mess. It's kind of this big, 3-story house. You sort of look like something that would be kind of haunted, but it's also, like a mortuary. The paint is chipping. It hadn't been kept up in ages. The land surrounding it is muddy and filled with water. The sewage, the septic tank had overflown. And then there's a little graveyard off to the side. And give a tour of everything in the place inside. It's just, really messy. And you just get kind of a creepy vibe from the place and the guy. The son is he goes out to this diner and he meets to get food at night, and there's these 3 people in the diner who 2 girls and a guy. The bullies and all this, and they start giving him a hard time because he's a new guy. He sees a sign on the thing saying help wanted, and he gets hired immediately because the kind of the hippie lady running the place hires him. That's where he meets the owner's niece, and she gives him a rundown of the town. Those guys, they're assholes, but there is kind of a secret in the town. The family who had run the mortuary had been there for years. They'd done a good job. They'd run everything, but then the last, up until like 30 years before, I think it was, the parents were pretty bad people. They abused their little child, and then they disappeared, and the child's body was never found. But they thought the child was dead. But the owner of the girl's aunt saying, nope, Bobby is still alive. That's the name of the child. And when the teenager is back home at night, he just sees these weird things going on in the cemetery, and that's starts setting things up, because you obviously know that when you hear something like that, even though people are like, no, that's not going to happen. Sorry, get you back. You know that something's up. So the movie kind of shows how they are dealing with setting things up, trying to get this place back to normal, the family life, and the teenage boy's dealing with his new job and the girl, and then the creepy guys who all of a sudden they disappear. And, this was a really well done movie. It was kind of evenly paced. It's not a really big budget movie, and you could tell they didn't have a lot because some of the special effects on the horror stuff was a bit not good, but it wasn't distracting. So, but there's some nice slow build up on everything. When things start happening, because things are going to happen. You are going along with everybody trying to figure out, wait, what happened here? What happened here? Like the mold that's in the house, it's like these vines, they start spreading, and so kind of builds, and then all hell breaks loose at the end, obviously. There was a couple parts at the end that seemed a tad bit rushed. But then you're also like, how are they going to get out of this? Because, I was expecting a couple, from movies past. I mean, I'm not just talking, any movie in the past. You expect a certain thing to happen. You're like, how are they going to get out of this? And I liked the way they did it, because there was a twist in this one where that I did not see coming. And it was rather nice to see, because you're just like, well, that was not expected. And other than a little sound issues, I guess, where the action and this, everyone kind of being all excited and yelling and stuff kind of overlapped on each other, so it was kind of hard to hear sometimes. Then I recommend maybe at the end using subtitles just so you can hear everything, distinguish everything that's being said. It was really good, and this movie had a great line, which is one of the best lines I've heard in a movie this year, even though it's from years ago. If we work together, we can prevent cemetery babies, which is funny, and it's even a little bit more funny in the scene that you're between the mother and the the sheriff of the town. So there is some nice, good tension and some horror stuff. Good horror tropes in there, and some really funny segments, which more than make up for the kind of the hurried, I don't want to say jumble of an end, but there was a certain, things that are just, you're just like, wait, what were they saying? What are they saying? What's going on? Jump a little bit too much, but I have to say it was an enjoyable movie. I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. Because Denise Crosby did a good job with her performance. She was believable. The son's character, he's still in high school, I guess, so he's kind of upper teens. And the actor there did a respectable job, and the young girl, they found a good actress for that, because that could have been, sure, it'd be hard to find someone at that age to do the stuff that she was supposed to do and make it fairly believable. And though she didn't have a whole lot to do what she had to do, it could have gone bad if they didn't have the right actress, and so they did a good job. And Toby Hooper, with his credentials, was able to pull it off well for the most part. So I enjoyed this movie. It was worth the watch. The time flew by on it. It didn't seem like it was an hour and a half movie. It was entertaining. It was, fun, and just not super bloody or anything like that. But this didn't, this wasn't a movie that required a lot of blood, anything like that. It was, so, yeah, I'm just going to say, give it a shot, 3.75 out of 5. And watch it, especially if you're into Toby Hooper movies. So let me know in the comments below whether you saw it or not and what you thought of it. Like, subscribe, and most of all, enjoy your horror movies.